Hi friends, welcome back to Andrew Good Camera, where today we're going to be talking about the brand new Tamron 11-20 f2.8 lens, which I am shooting with right now as we speak. And what a delight to use this lens. I'm really glad I get to do a review and that I got to shoot with it, albeit only a couple weeks with it. As you know, I shoot mostly Canon these days, but I was so excited about this lens and the opportunity to review it that I did dust off a Fuji camera, borrowed one in fact, so that I could do this review and do some video and photography with it. As you know, I've been spending a lot more time with video these days, especially for my other channel. And so actually, you might be surprised to hear that most of my time spent with this lens was actually doing photography. I did take it to a professional job where this lens was absolutely perfect. But before we go any further, we need to thank our awesome sponsor that made this video possible. Today's sponsor is Flexispot. But let's switch to a better looking model as we talk about the Flexispot desk. Here's my lovely wife Danae showing off the memory stored sitting to standing position that Flexispot desk provides. The memory function is as customizable as you need because all of us are different. The Flexispot comes in a huge variety of sizes, colors, materials, etc., so you can customize it exactly the way you need it. We opted for the Flexispot E4 standing desk, the 55x28 black frame and bamboo top desk, which we love and which works great for featuring products as you've already seen in this video. We also like that Flexispot is very quiet, even while laboring under the load of my fat. Click the link in the description to order your own. Thank you Flexispot for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the video and I'll tell you about the professional job where the Tamron 11-20 was the perfect tool. And that was a physical therapy clinic that needed interior shots and candid shots in limited spaces, very kind of tight spaces. This lens was perfect for those tight spaces. Obviously, it's going to get really wide and close and get all the context that are needed and necessary for those types of photographs. As far as how it performed in that setting, it's great. It's wonderful. In a setting like that where I don't care about the corners so much, I'm not doing professional architectural photography, obviously. This is just kind of candid. It's going to be shown on their website, but it's not the main focus. Or the candid shots, definitely the subjects in the center are more of the focus, not the stuff in the background around the corners. So that means that this lens optically doesn't have to perform perfect. So I'm not holding it to an extremely high standard in that setting, and I just don't need it to be. Where it shines is the fact that it's really lightweight, really compact, fast focusing in a photography setting, and in a video setting that it's got a silent stepper motor. So that's where it performed well. It also did really well when I took it out after the physical therapy job, took it out on the streets and did some some other stuff, just shooting around, and it was great. It was awesome in those settings, and I would say if you're doing some travel photography, this would be a wonderful lens. Love how close it focuses, so close. Closer when you're zoomed all the way out than it does when you're zoomed in to the 20 millimeters, but either way it's plenty close. I'll put on I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll put on the screen what the maximum reproduction ratio is for both zoomed out and zoomed in. But it was awesome. It was refreshing because a lot of lenses I've tried lately don't close focus, and I know if you know me, you know that causes me a little bit of frustration because I love those details. Shooting, at walls and architecture, like I said, it does pretty well. It's not an optically perfect lens, and it can't outrun physics. It's a small lens. It's lightweight, and that means that the corners are going to suffer, especially with a 2.8 aperture. A small lens with a 2.8 aperture, I mean, that's amazing, but it doesn't get a free pass. The corners are going to be soft, and I found that they were soft both zoomed in to the 20 millimeter and also zoomed out at the 11 millimeter. They were just, in both cases, it was really soft, pretty much all the way through the aperture range. The exception probably was around 5.6, zoomed at the 20 millimeter range. That's where it does pretty well in the corners. But other than that, the corners weren't great. And in the centers it did better, but still wasn't spectacular. As far as audio, I am using just the camera's audio. I don't have any, I'm not mic'd up or anything, and I'm close enough to the camera with this lens that I feel like I could do that and get pretty good audio quality. So that's another benefit of this lens and shooting with it. And we can hear how quiet it is with that stepper motor when I move around. Probably do some focusing here and you can see how quiet it is. Come on. I don't have it on the fastest focusing setting, but the stepper motor is supposed to be really quiet. While just average sharpness, this lens does an amazing job when it comes to controlling glare. I don't see any glare or ghosting straight into the sun at wide open or here at 5.6. And you just see a little bit of ghosting here, stop down at the f/16 on the bottom left. It's not the worst lens out there. It's not the best. For what it offers, it's great. And like I said, the types of photographs that I was shooting, and I would also say the types of video that you're probably going to be shooting with this lens, it gets you what you need and then some. Like, it's plenty sharp. I wasn't disappointed with any of the photos I shot. And I would bet that if you're a travel photographer, you're not shooting on a tripod mostly, or if you are, it's occasionally, and you know, you're kind of run and gun. You don't need optical perfection, but you'd rather have something light and compact. This is your lens. If you're a content creator as well, you see I've got you kind of, I'm holding this set up right now just so you can get a feel of what it looks like as a content creator. Here we are zoomed out at the f/11. Gets really wide, although it distorts my face a little bit. It's a little more GoPro style, but gives you the depth of field, so that more shallow depth of field. And zoom to the 20 millimeters. It's perfect. Like, that's what you need. That, and you know, when you hold out that small tripod at arm's length, not even arm's length. My arm's a little bent, and this is perfect. Gets me that shallow depth of field. It's not very heavy. On a Fuji device, which is already lightweight, this is awesome. This is what I would use if I was vlogging and traveling. And certainly if I was doing photography and traveling, unless I just needed optical perfection. If I'm an architecture photographer, landscape photographer, shooting on as controlled as possible on a tripod, printing large, this is not your lens. This isn't the lens that you get. You get one of Fuji's more optically perfect wide-angle zoom lenses, and you're going to be happier with that, with the image quality that you get out of those. So, but I would argue that this lens isn't designed for those folks. Having said that, if you're a landscape photographer and you don't take yourself too seriously, it's probably going to be great, especially for a first lens. As a landscape photographer, this is probably awesome. My only other negative with this lens, similar to many other third-party lens manufacturers creating lenses for the Fuji X platform, is the lack of an aperturing, which I feel like a lens on this platform should have, with many of the Fuji bodies being designed to be used in that way. So those are sort of my rambling thoughts. 2 weeks with this lens, so it's not detailed, deep, thorough analysis, and I probably won't be able to do that. I mean, that's probably enough information for you to make a buying decision, I would hope. So if you do buy this lens, feel free to use my affiliate links in the bottom and help support our channel. If you'd like to see these videos in the future without interruption, ads or otherwise, and also get early access to them, I would encourage you to become a patron of the channel by clicking on my Patreon link below, $5 a month, and that gets you all of those things and whatever else I decide. Maybe some extra content, maybe some discounts on some cool stuff. Who knows? We're just gonna have fun. We're gonna see how it goes. So join me over there. And in the meantime, remember to do good with your cameras, and we'll talk to you again real soon.